I'm live. I've never done this before, so I'm waiting to see people. I don't know what's going to happen. Yay, people! One person, two people! This is cool. Technology, right? Hi. So I'm hiding in my bathroom right now because I just put the kids to sleep. Well, me and my husband put the kids to sleep. And one is currently trying to sneak down into our bedroom and the other one is crying from his crib. So I'm hiding in the only room that has good light and where my kids can't find me. Also, I have a cocktail because cocktails are keto. Thank you. Hi. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of shoot the shit for a few minutes until more people get on. Basically, my motivation here was that people are sending me messages all the time, and if you've sent me a message and I didn't respond, I feel so bad. I'm sorry. I never thought it would get to the point where I would be able to respond to people, but I really seriously can't. It's like messages go away before I even have a chance to see them. So I thought if I did some lives like this and answered questions that I might be able to like knock a couple birds out with one stone. And plus, thank you, you're sweet, that I could post it on my YouTube channel after that, and it would always be a place where I could refer people to answer questions that get asked a lot about the keto diet and about how I got started losing weight, how I stayed motivated, how I set goals, all that kind of stuff. Do I have extra skin? Yes, I do. So if you have any questions, I'm kind of watching the feed as it pops up and as I'm figuring out how to use this. So if you have questions, feel free to just type it in and I will get to them as I see them. So basically, my story is, well, first of all, I want to say I just hit 15,000 followers the other day, which just blows my mind. I feel like it feels so cool, and I'm so honored to be able to, I don't know, like even have anyone pay attention to me for that long and have the opportunity to share some of what I've learned over the last couple of years and 100 pounds. So thank you. That's really awesome. Thank you. That's sweet. Okay, so my story is basically I was really not overweight. Keto and Weight Watchers, I'll tell you the difference in just a second. So I was really not overweight growing up. Maybe like a little chubby when I was an adolescent, nothing crazy. And when I graduated high school, I was probably like, I don't know, 145 pounds or something like that. Maybe a little chubby, but that's about it. And then inexplicably, I gained 100 plus pounds in my 20s. I lived with my now husband, who I've been with since I was 16, and I don't know, I didn't really see it coming on. I had a lot of friends, and I just had a fun life. I've always had confidence, and I just didn't really see it until one day I stepped on the scale, and I realized I was closer to 300 pounds than 2, and that freaked me out. And my husband and I got to talking and decided we wanted to have children, and I thought there's just no way that we can go into this endeavor of having children and raising these souls with me not knowing how to take care of myself. And so that was that, along with a couple of other like really embarrassing and just like terrible moments that spurred me into action. So I joined a gym. This was actually 4 years ago. So if you're wondering if I did this in like 6 months or something, no, I didn't. It took me 4 years. I had 2 beautiful babies in the middle, but maintained that weight loss. And, everyone has a different journey, but that's what worked for me, and I'm happy with that. So anyway, I lost the first 60 pounds through just diet and exercise. I cut back calories. So I was eating 1,200 calories a day. That was just kind of like what I worked out, and it worked for me. It's where I felt full. And I just started working out, like walking on a treadmill. I can remember the first time I ran for 30 seconds, and it was maybe like the greatest accomplishment of my life at the time. So anyway, lost 60 pounds, had 2 babies. My second baby is now a little over a year old, and I've been on the keto diet now for 7 months, which I mainly started because for like health reasons, not for weight loss reasons. I could have kept losing weight just counting calories, but I had digestive issues and like skin issues and all this other stuff. And so after a lot of research, I decided to give it a try, and it's been amazing. I lost another 40 plus pounds, and here I am. So I'm 103 pounds down, and I've got a little bit to go. I'm not really sure what, and I'm not really sure what my next goals are, other than I'm going to be running some races here in the spring and a half marathon in the fall, my first. So those are my focus right now, and just being healthy. Okay, so I see a question. What do I do for sweets? First of all, if you're on keto, my understanding, I'm not a major sweets person. I'm like a carb person. I like French fries, but I never was like a huge sweets person. So anyway, I understand that people who are huge sweets people and go on the keto diet, it actually is really great for that. It like eliminates it, and people don't have cravings anymore. Although I have some friends that are sweets people, and they don't seem like that's true. So what I do for sweets is I have a couple go-tos. They're actually on my website. I take sugar-free pudding mix and I mix it with heavy whipping cream and cream cheese. I just blend it up and it makes like this whippy, yummy thing. Hi, yes, I'm your friend. I know her, my BRCA1 journey. Always trying to make me feel cooler than I am. So anyway, I do that. I love Halo Top ice cream. Honestly, by the time that you're fat adapted on the keto diet, your sweets preference completely changes. So I really got to the point, I swear to God, where I could drink water and water would taste like sweet to me. So I don't get a ton of sweet cravings, but if you do, you can try like a really simple sweet, and usually a little bit will be enough. Okay, so somebody asked earlier, what's the difference between keto and Weight Watchers? So basically, Weight Watchers, which is the very first thing I ever did about 4 years ago, it was like kind of how I learned how to eat. I learned what clean eating was. I learned what kind of stuff makes you stay full. I learned portion control, just all that kind of stuff. So Weight Watchers basically uses a point system. It assigns points to different foods. So you can, generally it's kind of trying to keep you in the right food groups and the right portions and making you mindful of foods. So it's a great way. It works for a lot of people. It worked for me. It got me started. In the end, I don't know, I just wanted a little more freedom than that. And so I just sort of kind of started doing my own thing and just counting calories, which is really the same thing. So on Weight Watchers, you can really eat really any food. If you wanted to use your points on ice cream and Oreos, you could. You just not get very many. On the keto diet, you basically are eating high fat, high protein, and low carbs. So what a lot of people do is under 20 carbs a day, net carbs, which means carbs minus fiber. So under 20, and then there's some discrepancy and some different ways of thinking about your protein and fat levels. But what I've done is my protein is my highest and my fat is about 10 grams underneath that. So that's what's worked for me. So basically you're teaching your body to use fat as an energy source instead of carbs and sugar. And I mean, if we haven't all heard by now that sugar is the devil, then you're not paying attention. So anyway, okay, so how did I stop my carb cravings? So I kind of said this a little bit already. Basically, thanks for the question, Chatty Matty too. So, like I said, for me, it wasn't about sweets. It never has been about sweets. It's about, I'll answer that in just a second, Megan. Okay, so for me, the cravings are for French fries and bread and pasta. And to be perfectly honest with you, I still crave those things. I wouldn't say all the time. It's certainly not detrimental to my happiness or anything, but I've just found other ways or other things to eat to make me happy. So I make 90-second bread when I'm having a bread craving, and if I need pasta, I make spaghetti squash. No, it's not the same. Would I love to eat a giant heaping bowl of bow tie noodles? Yes, but I save those for extremely special treat occasions, and the rest of the time I stick to like alternatives. And honestly, at the end of the day, I can only speak for myself, but at the end of the day, when you've lost weight and you're feeling strong and healthy, 85 pounds, that's awesome. And I have the scan, your arms look great. Oh, thank you. Upper body exercises, I will get to that. I'm actually going to start writing stuff down because I can't remember the questions. So somebody asked about keto test strips. I have personally never used them. I've read varying schools of thought on the keto test strips, and my understanding is if you're not using the kind that test your blood, you're really not getting an accurate reading. And especially once you're in ketosis for an extended period of time and you're like fat adapted, that they really won't necessarily measure ketones anyway. Now, like a couple months back, I'd already been on keto for like months. I got a UTI and I went and had, like a pee test for that. And I showed up on that. The ketones showed up on that. So that was after like 4 months or something. So I don't know. You could certainly use it as a guideline, I think, especially in the very beginning when you're starting out. But I wouldn't use it as like I don't know. I personally wouldn't use it as a constant, like, see how you're doing, monitoring levels. Like, basically, if you're following a keto diet, you're in ketosis. If you hit a stall or you're not losing weight or you're not seeing any results after a couple weeks, I would say your main culprit is either maybe some kind of health issue that you obviously maybe should talk to a doctor about, or you have your macros calculated wrong, which I think is maybe the most difficult part when you're starting a keto diet. So, okay, question. Hi, I want to start a keto diet. How can I start? I'm clueless. Help. Okay, so I felt the same way. First of all, when I first started keto, I was like, carb ups. No, I don't. When I first started, or when I was going to start, okay, let me even preface that. Yes, I have knee issues. I am a super over researcher. So before I do anything, I like read every book and I research the internet. God forbid if I get like a pain in my belly, because WebMD is all up over my computer for months. So I did a ton of research. I wanted to make sure that, like everything else I've done from the beginning, that I was doing something that was sustainable and that was like a diet I could do for my whole life. Because that's what this is really about, like making changes that you can keep up. This isn't about, for me, it wasn't about, like a quick lose 20 pounds or something. Like, I wanted to make changes that would make me healthy and changes that I could share with my family and carry on. So I researched it. It seemed like increasingly something that was going to help with issues I had, like I said before, with digestion and stuff like that. Like, I'd been diagnosed with IBS about 10 years ago. I'd tried everything under the sun. And so I started just going to websites. One of my favorite websites is dietdoctor.com. It's just a really good get started. It just kind of tells you like what you can and can't eat, why it works, how it works, the kinds of conditions that it's being used to treat, how it's being kind of like widely adopted by the medical community now. So that's a great place to start. Also, my website, not to talk about my own website, but I have a ton of info on there about how I got started and what foods you can eat, how to eat out with fast food, how to eat at Starbucks. Like, I have a million recipes. So if you don't know, go to my profile. My website is on there. It's losermentality.com. Did you start posting pictures at the very beginning of your journey? Good question. I did post some when I first started losing weight. I did not use a book. It was like, it's about 4 years ago, which maybe sounds silly, but this was not, like, people didn't use social media 4 years ago the way that they're using it now. So, that's when I kind of first started using Instagram, even in the first place. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I was posting, like, terrible pictures of my dog. So I did take some pictures, but I was already a little ways down the path of losing weight when that started. So, like, I've been digging through my basement actual, like, literally printed 35 millimeter camera photos to post. So if you see like a thumbprint in the corner of a picture, that's why. So yeah, but I would say that taking pictures has been one of the single best motivators for me. It's so easy to not see the changes that are happening as they're happening, and I mean, honestly, sometimes daily, like maybe I'm a little obsessed, but I look back at old photos from a week ago, photos from a month ago, photos from 4 years ago, because sometimes you're like, wow, I feel like nothing's happening. I'm super depressed. It's really hard to not eat French fries when I feel like all this is for nothing. And then you look at a photo from, a month ago and you see the difference. It's incredibly motivating and empowering to see that your own work has made a difference. And measuring the inches. I actually did that in the beginning, and I scoured for this book. I had this little book that I wrote down every measurement of my body, and I cannot find it, along with my Weight Watchers book, which has, should we wear the same outfit? Anyway, it also has my highest weight, which I don't really know what it is. So yes, measurements are a really great thing too. Should we wear the same outfit? So one of the coolest things that I've done, and that I think people, other people, if you're sharing your photos with other people, or if you're sharing a story, people love to see the same shirt or whatever. And it's really cool for yourself too. Wow, I didn't realize that I was swimming in that shirt now. Holy cow, I'm talking a lot. So if you're wondering if you can drink vodka on the keto diet, you can. It's great. Deciding factor. Okay, so a couple questions to get back to. Upper body exercises. People ask me all the time about extra skin. I have a ton of extra skin. My whole body has extra skin. Literally everything. My chin, my thighs. People don't believe me. And then I show them my thighs and they believe me. So if there's something that I've learned through this process, one, I was terrified about having extra skin. I thought, I don't know, before losing weight, it wasn't the first thing, but as I started to lose weight, I thought, well, I'm pretty young, I don't feel that way anymore, but I thought when all this weight comes off, or as it started to come off, things just didn't look as I expected them to, or I thought maybe my age would allow things to bounce back. And that even after 30 pounds, that became pretty obvious that things were not going to bounce entirely back. It does not make a bit of difference. I would do everything exactly the same again, except for maybe try to lose weight earlier. But I was just talking to my husband about this earlier, because I really want to have plastic surgery. I'm totally pro plastic surgery. I think after all this hard work, whatever, I want it. I deserve it. I'm gonna have it. Do I not feel okay like this? No, I feel pretty okay. I'm really happy. I have confidence. I feel really good. I feel really strong. It doesn't hold me back in any way, and I would, hands down, without question, do it all the same. Lose the weight and have all this extra skin. It's, I'm not really one of those, wear your tiger stripes, glitter stretch mark people, because we don't need to, frame it. But in a way, yes, it's, empowering, and it's a reminder of my hard work and where I was before and where I'm not going back. So, asking about upper body exercises. I have learned that lifting weights and toning up makes a humongous difference. Before I had my kids, I was heavier than I am now, but I had a lot more time to work out. God, if I would have just taken that time, and totally used it, that would have been great. I've heard that too. I think plastics will help even faster. Do I count calories? Yes, I do. So anyway, I have recently been focusing a little bit more on lifting heavier weights, because I actually want to build some muscle now. For the longest time, I really just couldn't get my head outside of just shedding weight, and I didn't want to do anything that was going to make me lose weight slower or make me gain weight. I'm a lot more comfortable with that thought now, because it's really just about my health. I really just want to get the fat off and then work on building my best body and my best health. So I have noticed already that I don't have a ton of muscle tone. I have some in my shoulders and my biceps building, thighs and butt and legs I've been working on a ton, and running has made a huge difference. So I would say there's not specific exercises that I would do, but I would say really putting in some time and doing some legitimate, consistent weightlifting has made a difference with the skin. Like, obviously my belly is not going to go anywhere near back, so I'm not going to do like 1,000 crunches a day. So anyway, somebody asked about knee issues from weight and from running. Yes. Like different pain things and different issues. Did you work out? Yes. Hold on, I'm just jotting some notes down. So I've had different pain issues and different weight issues with my weight along the way. So when I first started running and working out, when I was 260 pounds, I had shin splints like you wouldn't believe, and I wasn't even running. I was really just walking. Like the first time I got on a, I don't know what this is. Be live in my video. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna wait. Sorry. I don't know what some of these things mean. So shin splints. One of the first things that I did was I bought really good shoes. People said buy really good shoes, and I totally thought it was a crock, because I'm a bargain shopper. But I went to Gazelle, a running store in my town, and I bought, like $100 running shoes. My first pair were Brooks, and they made a humongous difference. I'm training. Good for you. Yay. Where are you? Let's see. IR8 Fire Chick. Irate Fire Chick. Where are you located? So the shin splints, honestly, were just something I had to work through. Like, I would go home, I would stretch incessantly and ice my shins and do it again. Chicago, yay, you're close. We just might be able to run something together. That would be awesome. And then and actually the funniest thing, this is something that really surprised me. So I don't know what this is called, but like this muscle right here, about to fall off the chair, on the top of your shin. Apparently, I asked my doctor about this. Mine is like giant, and it always has been. Somebody said, that's awesome, or my doctor said that muscle gets like super big when you start doing exercise when you're heavy, because it's just a muscle that, I don't know, works really hard, and that's why shin splints happen. So that muscle for me is still like super pronounced, and I don't get any shin splints anymore, probably because it's the strongest muscle in my body. But it's just something I had to work through. And then later on, hi from Brazil, super cool. I love it. I think you're the one that just sent a request, but I don't know what your request means, so I said no, and I'm sorry. So later on, and something that's plagued me for a long time, is just like a lot of pain in my hip flexors, probably just because I was carrying a lot of weight. And same thing, I learned to roll it with ice water bottle. Oh, it hurts so bad. Yeah, the hips, the shins, all of it. Currently, I'm running a lot more miles per week and longer distances on a consistent basis, and at a faster pace, which is awesome, and I love it. It's really the first time that I feel like I can run without, feeling like I'm going to die. But I have runner's knee, which is, you are not running through runner's knee. Like, you can run through a shin splint. You can run through hip flexor pain. You're not running through runner's knee. It sucks. It hurts. And I'm trying currently to figure out what to do with that. So I think I'm going to get a new pair of shoes. Anyway, long story short, runner-related issues, unless you're seriously injured, a lot of it, you just have to work with and massage it and ice it and keep going. So someone says, what was the hardest part of your journey? I would say, so I recently put out a blog kind of talking about childhood stuff. I'm like, I know that's so cliche. Hurts like hell. Yes, it does. But it's true. I think that people carry weight for different reasons. Some people are emotional eaters. Some people are carrying baggage from their childhood or whatever it might be. I think that was the case for me, although it took me this full circle and losing 100 pounds to put all that together. And so, I don't know, I had an awareness early on that this journey was going to be one about emotional change, about changing my habits and changing myself to just think about things in a different way. Think about food in a different way. Think about exercise in a different way. Think about me, most importantly, in a different way. So even though I had self-esteem, even as a 260-pound woman, I also had insecurities, and I was carrying my weight, I think now, as a crutch. So the hardest part has been just the time, which feels really great when you're in it. It feels really expansive when you're in it. The time that it takes to make those kind of changes emotionally, that was probably the hardest part. So yeah, that, and when you have children, there's just stuff that happens to your body that is just a bit frightening, and it changes everything. And like the amount of time that you have and your ability to work out and be committed the way you did before, if you did before, is completely changed. So that has also been extremely difficult. But those also are the things that were the most motivating factors for me. So long story short, whatever your thing is that is holding you back, or your thing that feels like this insurmountable, obstacle, like, hone in on it, because it hurts emotionally for a reason. Like, that's probably a thing, and you should probably look there, and it may just be the thing that gets you through it, even though it's the hardest thing. You're welcome. Thank you for asking. That's an awesome question. I love it. Somebody asked about, did I work out when I started keto? So when I first started losing weight, and I was just counting calories, I worked out like crazy. That was the first thing I did. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to the gym. I was terrified to go to the gym, and I'm just going to do it every single day, no matter what. Oh, I need to get a tissue. For 21 days, because I'm a total self-help junkie, and I had heard that it takes 21 days. Sorry, I live in Michigan, and I have a nasty cold because it's gross here. So I heard that it takes 21 days to build a habit. So I was like, you know what? Let's give it a try. I'm going to work out every single day. Just go to the gym, because if you pull into the gym parking lot, you're going to go into the gym. So just do it. So I did that, and I worked out for 21 days. And by the end of the 21 days, I was hooked. I was pretty hooked. I was feeling good about myself. I wasn't afraid of the gym anymore, and it was, I was working out. So I stuck to that, lost 60 pounds, felt amazing. That's when I got pregnant with my first son. And basically maintained that weight loss within like 10 pounds, except for during my pregnancy, for the last couple of years. So when I started the keto diet, which was 7 months ago today, I actually did not. I wasn't really doing much at all. I sort of got back to running a little bit with my husband. It was August when I started keto. So we started going for some runs and like lots of long walks and things like that, but I wasn't hardcore working out. I would say for the last probably 4 months of the 7, I hopped back in the gym and started lifting weights again and like doing videos at home when I could, trying really hard to work out. I would say I work out on average like 5 to 7 days a week. Some of those days might just be a hike with the kids, or like a long walk being, I don't know, like 1 mile to 2 miles. So I was definitely I would say I saw the most dramatic weight loss with keto in the first 3 months. So I was not working out during that time at all. So you certainly can lose weight on keto without working out. But I mean, obviously working out is good. So it's even better to work out. Okay, so somebody asked about meal prep. This is actually, I think, Lauren, let's just give this a go. This is the second request, and I don't know what it is, but I'm going to just try it. For Lauren. Hi, Lauren. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but I'm waiting. So, okay, meal prep, I think, is one of the hugest things. She declined. I don't understand. This is why I have meal plans on my website and all the recipes, because I think, especially, I mean, I don't want to like discredit anybody or like say that one person's journey is harder than another's, but I have found that it's even harder when you have children or like a busy schedule, whatever. The busier your schedule gets, the harder it is to make really good choices and stay consistent and stay motivated. So I consistently have a meal plan every week. Like the more I do not run out of healthy meal ideas. The more consistent and regular you get about just your routine, the easier it is. Like you just do it without thinking. So like Thursday nights, the kids go to bed and I make a meal plan for the week, which is really easy. Like I might go to my website, remember some of the stuff I've made and write them down. I might just have thought of an idea. I love to cook, so I might just have had some ideas and I'll jot those down, whatever. I write 7 days worth of dinners. We cook dinner 7 nights a week at home that we eat with our kids. That's a tradition that my mom started when I was a kid, and it's super important to me, and I still do it. So even though my kids are 3 and 1 and they couldn't give a crap, they're going to see the value in it later, and it's something that we do as a family. So I just make my list. It's super easy. I break it down by cauli mac and cheese. Yeah. Which we eat like in some form or another at least once a week because who doesn't want anything mac and cheese? So anyway, that's what I do. I shop at Aldi. It's super cheap. I shop for my husband and I and our 2 kids every Friday when my son is at preschool, and it's usually like $110. So it does not cost more to eat healthy. It does not cost more to eat keto. It does, like, it's not harder. It's just different. So when you're first starting, it might seem really daunting because you don't know any substitutions and you don't know how to make 90-second bread. And yeah, it's a little rough. The produce at Aldi is a little rough. But I have found that if you just use it quickly, so like we'll do produce heavy meals early in the week. Like I said, I shop on Fridays. So like by Wednesday, we kind of have to have eaten most of the produce. Otherwise, some of it can get questionable. You figure out what's good and what's bad. Like don't even buy apples at Aldi because you're wasting your time. It's gross. So yeah, meal prep. One of the other things that I do, especially in the beginning when you're getting started, is if you can take a couple like solid days. So like let's say you're going to start on a Monday. You're welcome. On Sunday, the first couple of Sundays, I do the heavy work of like going into MyFitnessPal, like logging in recipes. You have to create the recipe because it's the first time you're going to make it. Then you have your nutritional info, and when it comes to Tuesday night and you're trying to get the kids ready for, school and you're getting ready for work the next day, you can just click on it, log it, whatever. Or better yet, if you're keto, you can just follow me on MyFitnessPal and just steal my recipes because the recipe's on my website and the nutritional info is in MyFitnessPal, so you can just copy it over. Even easier. It's free. Anyway, I think my handle on there is Coach, and I don't know. I'll get back to you. I can't remember. Coach. I can't remember. I'll have to look. Anyway, yeah, meal prep, huge. So like Sundays or the first couple of times, whatever day works for you, just do heavy on the prepping for that stuff. So that means you need to like research some recipes. You need to figure out like substitutions for things that you're going to need. Like you're a bread lover, then you need to figure out like a good bread substitute. Maybe make some of those in advance on that day so that your week is a little bit easier. Like basically look at what things you think are going to be a trigger for you. Is it not having enough time? Is it, I hadn't gotten the groceries? Is it, cost? Whatever it is, just look at the thing that you think is going to be your obstacle and set up Shan Fit Club. Thank you. Okay, so my handle on MyFitnessPal is Shan Fit Club. So if you want to go in there, friend me. I will totally add you, and you can copy all of my recipes. The recipes are titled the exact same as they are on my website. So if you go on my website and you pull a recipe for cauli mac and cheese or whatever, go over to my recipes, pull it. You can just copy it to your diary, your log, and you're good to go. It will pull everything for you. Most of that info is also on the recipe, but some of the newer ones, like I threw up in hurry and I don't have all the nutrition info. Thank you, Forged by Design, which also is the amazing place that I work. Go check them out. So, meal prep. Okay. So I kind of lost track of like some of the questions here. I'm going to go back through. Do I run out of healthy meal ideas? Okay, so here's the thing. People ask all the time, do you get sick of the food? Or people say like, oh, I tried keto and I got really bored with it, or I just need more variety or whatever. I get it. Especially when you're first making a change and you're used to eating whatever you want, whenever you want, it's really hard. When I first started losing weight and I was like, wait, I shouldn't, eat Oreos after I get home from McDonald's. Okay, that sucks. That's hard. It's depressing. Like, that was my comfort and that was what I was used to. So it takes some getting used to. I get it. But it's so cliche. I know that, but it really is like the most addictive thing. Hi, beautiful, back to you. You're so cute. Thank you. It's super cliche and that like you hear other people say it and you kind of want to barf when they say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It is addictive to like be healthy. You get healthy and you feel good and you feel strong and you feel empowered by what you've done for yourself. It is the best feeling ever in the whole wide world. So get started, because that's all I can say. It's just like, give it 21 days. Honestly, it will change everything. It will change everything. Just do it no matter what for 21 days and just see what happens, because it'll just change your mindset. So no, in short, I do not run out of ideas. That being said, I am, I don't want to brag, but I'm a pretty good cook. And I love to cook. It's a passion for me. I love food. So you can love food. You can be a foodie and still eat healthy and still be on a diet. I'm a slow loser too. Janine Atkins, I'm a slow loser too. But slow is better than no, right? I just made that up. Do it. Anyway, it's great. So I know that makes it a little bit maybe easier than someone who like has no idea how to pick food or how to put things together. Which is why I want to be able to put stuff on my website, because I want people to be able to go on there and I'm just jotting things down and just be like, I'm pulling a whole meal plan because I don't know what to do. Like, I'd like to be able to take as much guesswork out as possible for you. So, let's see. Carbs. How many carbs did I stick to when I started? So right from calories, macros. Okay, so let's talk keto, the keto diet. So you're going to find a lot of schools of thought on how to set your macros. I'm not pretending to be an expert on this diet. I am not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just a person who lost 100 pounds and figured out a whole bunch about food and exercise and calories and all that crap along the way. So, like I said, I did a lot of research. When I started, I had set my fat macro really high. So a lot of the calculators you'll find and a lot of the things you'll read will say high fat, like medium protein, low carb. I follow a different school of thought on that, and that is highest protein, carbs, fat lower than that, 10 grams less. I'm going to actually show you this is how I calculate, if you want to know how to calculate your macros. So take your weight. Oh boy, I'm going to have to do like actual math. I can't do actual math right now. I'll just tell you the formula. So take your weight, in my case, 157, and go times 0.6. So take your weight. I'm going to write this down for you. Weight times 0.6 equals your protein. That's backwards. Weight times 0.6, that's your protein goal. So you want to actually try to hit your goal. So in my case, I think right now it's like 95 grams of protein. If you weigh more, it's going to be more. Your fat goal, or your fat limit rather, is going to be 10 less than that. So if your protein goal is 95, your fat goal is 85, or your fat limit is 85. And then carbs, yes, weight times 0.06, protein goal. Yes, exactly. 10 less than that for your fat. Carbs, for me, hard limit, 20 net carbs a day. That's the standard that I've read across the board on everything for maintaining ketosis no matter what. So as far as I know, I have never not been in ketosis in the last 7 months. Ketosis meaning that your body is in a state of constant fat burning. Minus 10 equals fat. You got it. And then under 20 for carbs. If you stay within those net carbs, which means your total carbs minus any fiber equals your net carbs. So you might have had like 28 with a bunch of avocado and almonds, but you're going to net carb at under 20 to stay in ketosis. So think what you want, read what you want, go with what works for you. That has worked for me. It's worked for a lot of people that I know that have been really successful at using or burning fat on this diet. So now, obviously, I think at some point when I hit actual goal weight, I'm probably going to have to adjust those. I don't know. I'm not there yet. So intermittent fasting. Yes. Okay. So yes, somebody asked, do you use a tracker? Yes, I use MyFitnessPal. You just missed it a little bit ago. If you want to follow me, it's Shan Fit Club. You can find my recipes and stuff on there if you want to track them for yourself. If you're keto, it's a really great resource for tracking stuff and recipes. Of course, you can find it on my website. So yes, I use MyFitnessPal. I know that there are people. Sorry, this is like super classy. I know that there are people who like to pay for the upgraded version so that you can actually, like, the difference is you can set your macros to a percentage instead of a gram, or the other way around, a gram instead of percentage. So I don't do that. Like, honestly, after like a week of doing keto, you'll understand how it works, and you aren't going to need like it spelled out that directly. You can get really close by adjusting your percentages. It might be off by like a gram, but you'll get it. If you need the full version, you can pay whatever, it's like $9.99 a month. It works good for me. I know other people use other carb trackers. It's just something I've used for a long time. So I have all my recipes in there. I'm not switching over. But it works excellent for me. So yeah, that's that. Intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is basically just, I'm really glad you asked this question. Diet soda. I'm actually drinking diet soda right now. It's like my treat. I don't normally do any fake keto, and I don't mean to offend anyone with that because it's kind of a derogatory term, but fake keto meaning like replacing otherwise bad items with different items that are actually keto approved. So in other words, like using, stevia to make like brownies. I do that occasionally, but very rarely. I'm not big on that. So I don't normally drink diet soda, but I recently hit like, my biggest goal, and I've eased up on myself a little bit. So it's Thursday night, time for a cocktail, little diet soda. It's excellent. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so intermittent fasting is basically where you just cut the portion of time, total time throughout the day or a 24-hour period where you're eating. You just cut it down. So let's say you would normally wake up at 9 a.m. and you'd have something to eat, and you would eat a snack and lunch and a snack and dinner and a snack, and you'd be done eating your last food at 9 p.m. So the thought here, and there's like a lot of science behind it, if you start reading on intermittent fasting or just like fasting in general, no matter what diet you're on, there's actually a lot of health benefits attributed to it. So I did some research on that, surprise, and when I hit a stall early on, I think I was maybe like 4 months in, I thought, I'm really full anyway. I am not, I was having a hard time even hitting calorie goal. Somebody asked about that. So I thought, I'm just going to try it. And I've maintained it for the most part. I'm not super strict about it, but I generally eat between noon or lunch, whenever that falls. For me, it's about noon and like 6 or 7 p.m. So anything outside of that, I don't eat. Now, what I've read is that anything over 50 calories would break you out of your fast. So if you get up in the morning and you have your coffee with cream in it, if you have enough cream to break 50 calories, then you're breaking your fast. Sometimes I get up in the morning and I'm like starving. And so whatever, I eat some eggs then. It's fine. No big deal. I haven't seen any major change one way or the other. Hi in Brazil. That's so cool. Second person from Brazil. I haven't seen like a major change one way or another, although I do think it kind of helped with my stall. So it works for me. I think it's great. It just feels good. It makes sense. Okay, somebody asked about do I count calories? I've seen that a couple times. I don't count calories, but I loosely, like I have a hard limit at like 1,500 calories a day. You're welcome. And I aim Minnesota. I love it. We understand that in Michigan. I have I try to keep it between 12 and 1,500 loosely. 1,200. I mean, honestly, like once you're on the diet and you're in ketosis, you kind of are. I mean, your body is using fat, so when you're not feeding it with food, it's using your fat to like live off. And I mean, I have had reserves for a long time, so it's been fine. I've been full. I mean, full sometimes to the point where I can hardly even get 3 meals in. Yes, it's totally okay to have cream while fasting. So you don't want to have like half and half, because half and half is like half cream, half milk or something like that. And milk is really high in carbs. So you can have heavy whipping cream. It's super low in carbs. It's like it's like 2 carbs or something for a couple teaspoons. So I don't even know if that's correct. It's like really low. So I use it a ton in cooking anytime I am going to make a gravy or a soup or a sauce. I use it as a base. It's great. It's yummy. I drink it in my coffee every day. Yes, you may definitely have cream. So calories loosely between 12 and 1,500. You're welcome. Coffee creamer. Hold on. I'll get right back to that. So my point was, I keep getting sidetracked. Sorry. Once you're in ketosis, it's pretty hard I think, to hit your calories anyway. So it's really not hard to set it between 12 and 1,500. Like you still want to have a deficit, but I don't like track calories, meticulously. They just kind of always fall that way. And if I notice, or if I know that I'm having a day where I'm probably going to be kind of high in calories after lunch, then I'll just do a dinner that's a little bit lower in calories. So I might skip out on some of the cheese or whatever. If you're tracking, it makes it really easy because after each meal exactly where you're at. So yeah, that's that. Coffee creamer. So there's varying schools of thought on this. Some people put like Splenda in their coffee, which is just, like a fake sugar. I don't do that. There's, if you look it up, there's charts online that tell you like the glycemic or whatever response to each different sugar. They have like point levels from like natural sugar to your fake chemical sugars to your natural sugar substitutes like stevia. And some, even though they're a fake sugar, even though they don't have a calorie count, like sucralose, it might have 0 calories, but it still causes an insulin response in your body. So your body kind of, even though it may not put it on directly immediately as like a sugar calorie, it responds to it in the same way. Well, if you're going to have cream while fasting and you break 50 calories, if you have more than 50 calories of cream, the general school of thought is that you would be breaking that fast. So I think you can have like half a teaspoon or a teaspoon or something like that, or half a tablespoon. Look it up. And not break it fast. Like I do that every day. I put a teaspoon of cream in my heavy whipping cream in my coffee. I'm good. Don't break it fast. So your coffee creamer, while yes, it may actually be keto, we can talk about that later, meaning it doesn't have calories or doesn't have carbs, it might also still cause an insulin response and be detrimental to what you're trying to do. It may cause you to have sugar cravings. It may cause your body to react poorly. And it's a chemical, it's a fake sugar. So I would say 99% of the time, and this is for some other questions that I just saw pop up too, like Diet Coke. 99% of the time I avoid fake sugars, milk, anything that has fake sugar or like higher carb count like that. Diet Coke, unfortunately, because it's a sweet love of my life. Like I have like one a week. It's right now. Normally I have it on Saturday, but it's Thursday, and I was nervous for this, so I'm having Diet Coke with vodka. So yeah, Diet Coke, yes, only like once a week. Now I know people who are on the keto diet that have just drink them all the time, and they may still be losing weight, maybe working for them, whatever. It depends on what your goal is, and what, like how your body is responding. If you do great with it and you feel fine, then more power to you. Go for it. Like there are people who fake keto all day long. I am not anti-fake keto. It's not for me. My thoughts on Bulletproof coffee. So, okay, it's not bad. I've had it. I wouldn't say it's like delicious. I don't really understand why people are like all over Bulletproof coffee. I think it's fine. Yes, it's kind of smooth. It's sort of like LuLaRoe leggings. Like I'm sort of undecided on whether I want my leggings to feel like butter. I'm also not sure if I want my coffee to feel like butter, but I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to either one. So anyway, Bulletproof coffee is like coffee with butter in it, or like a lot of people put butter and like heavy whipping cream, cinnamon, or there's different recipes, but basically it has an added fat, natural fat in it. Girl, potato and brown rice, not keto. I wish it was. I miss me potatoes. It's my number one thing I miss hard when I do have carbs. No, I'll get to that though. So Bulletproof coffee. I don't know. Like maybe I need to do more research on this because I just don't really understand. I don't understand like the boo for sure. I don't understand the thinking behind like wanting to lose fat and fat loading your meals. So I have not found any need to add fat to my coffee. I can plenty hit my 20 carbs and my fat goal with just eating regular food. I don't know if I get to some point where like I'm desperately needing to put fat on. Can't imagine that day, but if that day comes, then maybe I'll try some more Bulletproof coffee. That being said, it's not awful. It's just I don't really see the need. Okay, so Irate Fire Chick. It took me forever to get that name the first time. When I do have carbs, what do I keep it to? Sweet potatoes, brown rice. Okay, so you can pretty easily hit 20 carbs with avocado, almonds, your cream, your heavy whipping cream has it, your cauliflower, your veggies have it. So I was really surprised when I first started that like carrots were out. Almost all fruit is out, which was fine because I totally hate fruit. I occasionally miss an apple, but like once I can replace it with cheese, no problem. So, I mean, it's really easy to hit your 20 carbs with other keto foods. I would say most foods that I crave, most carby foods like bread, I've found substitutions for that I'm perfectly happy with. So 90-second bread has taken the place of like anything bread related that I might need. Cauliflower has taken the place of not mashed potatoes because that's gross and I don't like it. But like cauliflower mac and cheese, I use it as a base for lasagna, for casseroles, for like all sorts of things. So like if you want some ideas, go to my website because I have a ton and I make them up all the time. So like I've found replacements for things that have worked really well for me. that I don't really have those cravings. The only thing I have not really found a reasonable replacement for is potatoes. I have tried all sorts of nonsense vegetables and concoctions of stupid flours and things, and it's just don't. It's not. I don't know who the people are that say these things taste like potatoes, but I don't know what potatoes you were eating before, but they're not the same to me. So I was really hardcore for the last, I would say, 6 months on the keto diet, meaning something that's worked really well for me throughout this entire process of losing weight was just like cold turkey on a lot of things. So I know that sounds like really harsh. Like, how can you go into this and just think that you can legitimately never make a mistake or cheat? For me, and I've said this a million times to a million different people, that no, yeah, radish, no. Yeah, some berries are okay. Like raspberries are okay. Blueberries are kind of a little bit higher. I think they're still relatively limited amounts, but yeah, strawberries I think are like somewhere in there. I literally don't eat like any fruit, so I suck at answering that question. So like cheating. Lost my train of thought. Okay, so this is something I've said since the very beginning. Whether you have a food addiction or not, like if you've gained a substantial amount of weight, you have some kind of addiction, right? You have some kind of problem. So I've always thought that the thing that makes this different than other addictions is that, like, you don't, like, when someone, like, when a crackhead is trying to get off crack, you don't say to the crackhead, like, you can have some crack. Like, you can have a little bit of crack every day, but you can't have the bad crack, and you can't have a lot of crack. Just a little, okay? But you have to have a little every day. Like, that, no, you're going to fail. They're going to fail every single time. That's why I think so many people who've gained weight continue to gain weight and keep the weight, because you have to keep eating. You have to eat food. So, like 3 times a day, you have faced with this decision over and over again. You're going to make the right one. You're going to make the wrong one. You're going to be strong. You're going to be weak. Like, it's relentless, literally, for the rest of your life. So for me, something that worked was to just, like, I have willpower like a mother, literally, if I can just shut it off. So I just said, you're doing it for 21 days. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. You don't think about it. You don't even present it as an option in your mind. If you take that option away, then it just changes things. For me, anyway. Maybe that doesn't work for other people, but I don't do cheat days. I've had like 4 cheat days. I just contradict myself. So, like, I don't generally do any cheat days. I ate like a half a piece of cake on my son's birthday when he turned 1. It wasn't even that good. And when I lost 100 pounds, when I hit my goal, I ate French fries. They were totally amazing. Totally worth it. So, like, yes, there are those exceptions, but they're super few and far between for me. Not a big cheat day person. Not a big, like, sub it in for something else, because to me that's just, like, it's just a game, and it's a slippery slope, and it just doesn't work for me. So, I don't know. Maybe you're like me, and maybe that would work. Try the all or nothing route. Just say, like, I'm not doing it. I'm not a person who eats. And just change your vocabulary, and change your thinking will change around it. So I'm not a person who eats junk food. I'm not a person who's obsessed with sweets. I'm not a person who fills my body with fake sugar. Whatever it might be, like, whatever your crutch, whatever your thing. It's a good train of thought. Yes, try it. It works. So, okay, let's see. What have I missed? Coffee creamer, got that. Oh, I think we're actually dwindling down on questions. Does anybody else have any other big questions that we've missed? I feel like I've been talking for 4 hours. I don't even know what time it is. 15 seconds remaining. They're going to cut me off anyway. So perfect. So, okay. I have 9 seconds. This has been awesome. I'm going to do this again. I hope you liked it. I'm going to put this up on my YouTube later. I'm about to run out of time. Thank you so much for coming. I love you.